Some of the biggest conservative names on the planet are somewhere else that's hot tonight, Texas, for the CPAC conference. And the star of the stage at today's kickoff, an authoritarian national leader under fire for saying racist stuff overseas. We're talking about Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who just recently in Romania said he doesn't want Hungary to become a mixed race, his words, a mixed race country, prompting one of his longtime advisors to quit, describing his speech as a Nazi diatribe. Here's how Orban defended himself today.
In Hungary, we introduced a zero-tolerance policy on racism and anti-Semitism, so accusing us is fake news, and those who make these claims are simply idiots.
And you might wonder, okay, so why is this guy at CPAC, right? Start with who he actually is. He rose through Hungarian politics, running on anti-immigration campaigns. His party compared to an open dictatorship. He's changed laws in a controversial way. Anti-immigration, anti-gay. Same-sex couples, for example, can't adopt children anymore. He's made it harder to be a journalist or part of an opposition group. So why CPAC, right? It's partly about who he's close with. His allies include this guy, former President Donald Trump, along with former White House strategist Steve Bannon, who called Orban the Trump before Trump. Orban supported Mr. Trump's campaign in 2016, and the two met in Bedminster. That's this picture just this week. And CPAC's organizers are defending their invitation to the Hungarian prime minister. A spokesperson saying, "We support the open exchange of ideas, unlike so many American socialists." The press, they add, might despise Prime Minister Orban, but he is a popular leader. I want to bring in Gary Grumbach now. Gary, bring us up to speed on how things at CPAC went today and what happened.
Yeah, I mean, those speeches, if you were to compare the two, read a transcript, all that was missing was pretty much the YMCA at the end. That was in terms of the similarities between a transcript of this speech right here and a former President Donald Trump rally that we've seen all across the country. And they were so similar because of what was talked about and the issues that were discussed, including Judeo-Christian traditions, the anti-migration ideas that he has, and also the promotion of political correctness and the anti-political correctness, especially as it relates to pronouns. He also went on an anti-fake news rant, of course, which is something we've heard from President Trump quite a bit. But Orban, I should note, Freedom House is an organization that kind of tracks these kind of things. Orban's country of Hungary has been demoted to partially free because of what Orban has done in his country. And that comment from CPAC that you mentioned about him being a popular leader, he sure was popular in this room. People here were eating him up. They were laughing at his jokes. They were giving him a standing ovation. They were very much agreeing with what he had to say. Hallie?
Gary, I think that's an important note at CPAC, but also talk about the names that are not here, right, and what's at stake. Because since the last time CPAC gathered in February, we've had the January 6th hearings. We saw primaries have started. We saw that vote in Kansas just this week, the surprise vote protecting abortion access there. But yet, you know, there are some big names that have been speculated about for 2024 who are not slated to speak.
Yeah, we've seen, of course, the people that we are seeing to speak, which are the Trump wing of this party, right? We're not seeing the more conservative names, seeing people like Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, Chris Christie, Rick Santorum, Governor Ron DeSantis. We're not seeing those names. Who we are seeing is the Sean Hannity was just on stage. We're seeing tomorrow Senator Ted Cruz, Rick Scott, so the more Trump side of the world. And of course, this could be for a lot of reasons. I'm not sure it was a scheduling issue for most people that couldn't make it. They were purposely not here because they don't want to stoke the flames of 2024. They don't want to say they're running when they're not yet running. And of course, President Trump is speaking here on Saturday afternoon. That's an important part of this too. They don't want to necessarily become his topic of conversation either. Hallie?
Gary, what has stood out to you the most as somebody who covers politics, who's been on the road in an, behind the scenes and in front of the camera capacity for a long time there at CPAC this year?
I think what really stuck out to me was how CPAC has changed. This used to be the place where conservatives could gather and be themselves. This has really turned into Trumpism and Trump world. And everybody here is 100% behind Donald Trump, whether or not he runs. And I think that was really fascinating. And also fascinating was this Viktor Orban speech and how the folks here with supporting Viktor Orban and laughing at Viktor Orban and celebrating Viktor Orban's presence at an American CPAC rally was fascinating. Here's one person we talked to today. So you are all in on President Trump.
We need that bull in the China shop.
I'm at CPAC. Does that not tell you something? Trump all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the state...
Now, there are other sessions that are happening besides what's happening on this main stage, including one that's coming up real soon called Giving Liz the Biz, which is going to be with Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan, and former Attorney General Matt Whitaker. That's going to be a very interesting conversation because they're going to talk about the illegitimacy, or what they consider the illegitimacy, of the January 6th committee and where that goes from here, especially as we head towards the midterms. Allie?